if you were to describe yourself, would you call yourself a wood carver, wood turner? What would you say?
Wood carver.
Wood carver, okay. And the reason I ask is that's going to go on the little third at the bottom of the screen to describe who you are and why you're here today.
I call myself the 18 Wheelin Whittler. Now, I wanted to say that I want to thank my wife for inspiring me to do this, because, I mean, the reason I said no to her the first time I saw this program is because I've had hobbies in the past, and, they didn't pan out, and I had a baby on the way, and I didn't want to be wasting money, so the second time I saw that show and mentioned it to her, she says, you do it, I insist, you do it. So, I mean, and everything has evolved from that moment, I bought a $10 knife, and I found an axe at a flea market. My first spoon was a baby spoon, and I want to say it probably took me about 3 hours. When I'm putting together a spoon, I always start with an idea in my head, but it never ends up the way I thought, so it's just a feel. I just got to go with the wood and what thoughts are in your head at the time. And sometimes if I'm carving it for a particular person, I think about that person and how they've changed and altered my life and what they've meant to my life, and it just happens, Next, I graduated to making my own handmade carving chisels. I met a Russian guy in Kansas, and he told me that back in Russia they carve flowers on their spoons. So that tweaked my interest, and so I made my own chisels. The chisel part starts with the 01 drill rod, pounding it out flat, and then shaping it. Sometimes I used micro files to shape the flutes on them. And then I tempered them, dipped them in olive oil, and then baked them in a toaster oven to harden them. So once I was done with the shafts, I needed a lathe to make the handles. So once I got the handles done, I got this expensive lathe. What am I going to do with it? So I saw some videos on YouTube about pen turning. So I started expanding into pen turning so I could use the lathe more. I've made pens for a woman getting married. She used it to write down all her marriage information, and booking her appointments and everything. I made a pen for my best friend in Oklahoma who was getting divorced. He wanted to sign that paperwork with it. But I started off with just standard pen blanks from a distributor, and then I expanded, always wanting to do the next best thing. I would buy bulk maple burl, bulk black palm, just different kinds of woods, and do my own thing with it. And just like I said, the next best thing, and adding acrylic to it and making it a hybrid really turned out nice. The pens, the dragon eggs, Christmas trees, carving wood spirits. I have a special platform that sits on my steering wheel that I do, wood spirits and relief carving on. It's got a shavings catcher on the bottom. I can mount a vise in the middle of it that swivels 360 degrees, leans over. When I have time, I unhook from the trailer and I set a 2x12 up across the tires and sit my lathe on it. I take power out the side box and I get started. I've got a little vise that I mount to the back of the frame if I've got to cut some wood or drill it, I have my carving bag, which holds all my chisels and my carving knives. I've got a pair of them big fancy bifocals that the jewelers use because my eyes get squirrely sometimes. I've got a chopping axe in my carving bag. Usually I've got a chopping block in the passenger seat and a foldable chair. I mean, there's cheap ways to get into it, to try it. Like I said, a $10, $12 carving knife and an axe, or just think about it for a while. You don't have to jump into it, and watch a little YouTube, learn about it, see if you're interested in it. And then go out and invest a couple dollars. And it's just going to keep growing from there. I mean, one proud thing that I am about my work, I do have a lot of those expensive tools now, but everything I've bought since I started, my product is paid for. I usually sell by word of mouth or, bumping into somebody. I don't have anything online. I don't have the time when I go home. I'm a family man to catch up on orders for people that are waiting. So you'd have to bump into me somewhere.
But if they see you, you'll take the order.
Oh yeah. If you see me out there at the truck stop, come talk to me. You don't have to buy something. Let me show my stuff off to you.